This is Istanbul, a city of more than 15 million people. Alive with an energy that buzzes from the Grand Bazaar to the Bosphorus Strait. It's a city you can see, hear, and feel. But what if I told you that right beneath these crowded streets lies another city, a lost city? A city of water, stone, and secrets. A city built for emperors, forgotten for centuries, and now being rediscovered. Today, we're going underground. We're peeling back the layers of asphalt and earth to reveal the hidden world of ancient Constantinople. This isn't just about ruins. It's about the ghost of an empire that refuses to disappear. For over 1,000 years, this city was the center of the world. First as the new capital of the Roman Empire, then as the heart of its successor, the Byzantine Empire.
They called it Constantinople. It had a reputation for legendary wealth, was protected by impenetrable walls.
For centuries, while much of Western Europe was fracturing, Constantinople was a beacon of civilization, art, and power. But what happens when a city like that, a city that dominated history for a millennium, isn't just conquered, but is buried? What happens when one of the world's greatest civilizations is simply, built on top of?
You get modern Istanbul.
And beneath its streets lies not a single, literal lost city, but something far more complex, the layered, preserved remains of Constantinople, Ancients. We're talking about cisterns that once stored water for emperors, harbors that connected the Byzantine
capital to the known world, and buried structures that reveal how one of history's greatest cities survived, traded, and endured.
For a long time, this was just a romantic idea. Now, it's becoming an archaeological fact. In Istanbul, some of the most profound historical discoveries aren't made in remote fields by teams of archaeologists. They're made by accident, by construction crews digging a new subway line, or by engineers reinforcing a modern building's foundations. Every time a shovel hits the ground here, there's a chance it might strike the ghost of the empire. Starting with the one resource that a megacity, ancient or modern, cannot survive without. To understand how this hidden city thrived, you first have to understand its most critical resource: water. Constantinople was built on a peninsula, strategic for defense, but a logistical nightmare for hydration. It had no major rivers. So how did it support a population that at its height reached 500,000 people? The answer is one of the great engineering feats of the ancient world. The Romans, and later the Byzantines, were masters of hydraulics. Engines. They built a circulatory system for their capital, a complex network of aqueducts stretching for hundreds of kilometers.
But getting water to the city was only half the battle.
Constantinople was under constant threat of siege. An enemy could simply cut the aqueducts, and the city would die of thirst. The Byzantines needed to store massive quantities of water within their walls. Their solution was ingenious, and it's hidden right beneath our feet. They built hundreds of underground cisterns. Cavernous, man-made reservoirs designed to hold enough water to outlast any enemy.
Most are lost or inaccessible.
But one of them is so vast, so magnificent. Locals call it Yerebatan Saray, the sunken palace. Then you begin to notice something strange about the columns.
They are not all the same.
Some are simple, others are intricately carved. This wasn't a mistake. Many of these columns were reused from older Roman buildings. Historians call this practice spolia, the reuse of architectural material from earlier structures. In Constantinople, the past was often built directly into the present. Ancient pieces survived because they were given a new purpose. But among the reused pieces, two faces are unlike anything around them. At the far end of the cistern are two enormous heads of Medusa. One lies on its side. The other is upside down. Why are they here? And why are they positioned so strangely? To answer that, we have to look beyond the cistern itself. The answer lies in the world that existed before Justinian. Two enormous carved stone faces stand at the far end of the reservoir. So perhaps they were placed there for protection. Another theory suggests that by inverting the heads of a pagan icon, the Christian builders were symbolically neutralizing her power. Or maybe it was just pragmatism. The blocks just happened to fit better that way. Whatever the reason, their haunting presence adds to the profound sense of mystery. After the Ottoman conquest in 1453, the cistern eventually fell into disuse by the city authorities. Istanbul, and was largely forgotten. It became stuff of local legend until the mid-16th century. Locals said they could get water by lowering buckets through holes in their basements.
Some even caught fish that way.
Intrigued, Gillius investigated. Found an entrance and rediscovered this architectural marvel for the wider world. Even then, it was centuries before the cistern was cleaned, restored, and opened to the public. What was once a functional piece of infrastructure has now become a work of art.
A testament to the vision of a lost empire.
It's discoveries like this that completely change how we see a city. This incredible space was hidden in plain sight, right below one of the most visited spots in Istanbul. If you're enjoying this journey into Istanbul's hidden past and want to see more secrets like this unearthed, consider subscribing. We have so many more layers to explore together. But water wasn't just for drinking.
It was the highway that helped make Constantinople a city with a reputation for being the richest on earth.
Its power didn't just come from strong walls or grand churches. It came from controlling trade.
And that trade flowed through its harbors.
For every column in the Basilica Cistern, there were hundreds of ships in the city's ports, carrying grain from Egypt, silks from China, and spices from India.
Carrying grain from Egypt, silks from China, and spices from India.
Constantinople had several harbors, but one of its most important simply vanished from the map.
It was called the Harbour of Theodosius, built in the late 4th century.
For 700 years, this was one of the city's main economic engines. And then, it was gone.
How does a massive harbour just disappear? The culprit was a small stream called the Lycus. For centuries, it flowed into the port, carrying not just water, but silt.
Slowly, grain by grain, the stream filled the harbour. The water grew shallower. Large ships could no longer dock.
Over time, the port became a marsh.
Then landfill.
Eventually, the city grew over it, erasing it from memory for nearly 1,000 years.
Until 2004. Istanbul was undertaking its most ambitious infrastructure project in modern history, the Marmara Rail Line.
As crews began excavating for the new station at Yenikapı, their machines hit something. It wasn't rock.
Old wood.
Construction stopped. The archaeologists moved in.
What they found was beyond anyone's wildest imagination. They had found a huge, vital part of the Lost Harbour of Theodosius.
The Yenikapı excavation became one of the largest and most important archaeological digs in recent history. The waterlogged mud had created a perfect, oxygen-free environment, preserving organic materials that would have rotted away anywhere else. It was an underwater archaeological site on dry land.
The treasures they unearthed were staggering.
They found thousands upon thousands of artifacts: pottery, tools, leather sandals, and countless amphorae.
The clay shipping containers of the ancient world.
But the most incredible discovery was the ships. Buried in the mud were 37 remarkably well-preserved Byzantine shipwrecks. They dated from the 5th to the 11th centuries. They are giving archaeologists an unprecedented look into how Byzantine ships were built and the secrets of their maritime success. They are giving archaeologists an unprecedented look into how Byzantine ships were built and the secrets of their maritime success. Their cargo tells us what was being traded and where it came from, providing a tangible map of Constantinople's vast commercial network.
The discovery at Yenikapı didn't just confirm the harbor existed.
It brought the Lost Harbour back to life in stunning detail, providing concrete proof of Constantinople's role as the central hub of global trade. The Basilica Cistern and the Harbour of Theodosius aren't just two isolated, spectacular discoveries. The Basilica Cistern and the Harbour of Theodosius aren't just two isolated, spectacular discoveries. They are two vital organs of a single, living system: the city of Constantinople. One was part of the circulatory system, managing the water that gave the city life. The other was part of the digestive system, processing the trade that gave it strength. Discoveries like these force us to completely rethink how we view ancient cities.
Constantinople wasn't just a collection of monumental buildings.
It was a complex urban organism with intricate, hidden systems that kept it running, much like a modern metropolis.
The Byzantines weren't just theologians and artists. They were brilliant urban planners and engineers.
And these two sites are just the tip of the iceberg.
Hundreds of other cisterns are scattered beneath Istanbul, some under schools, others beneath shops, many still undiscovered. There are forgotten tunnels, buried forums, and palace foundations that now lie beneath apartment blocks.
The archaeological layer of Constantinople isn't a thin veneer.
It's a dense tapestry woven directly into the fabric of the modern city. You can't separate them. This buried Byzantine city isn't just a relic of the past. It's an active part of Istanbul's present. It influences construction, dictates subway routes, and occasionally, miraculously, today we journeyed down, past the noise and chaos of a modern megacity, and found something extraordinary. We walked through a submerged palace built to secure an empire's water supply, a forest of stone that holds the memory of a golden age.
Then, we stood at a construction site that became a time machine, where digging for a modern railway revealed the lost gateway to the Byzantine world.
The lost city beneath Istanbul is not truly lost. It's just hidden, waiting. It's a city of whispers and shadows, preserved in water and mud. The engineering of Justinian and the commercial might of Theodosius are still here, imprinted in the earth beneath the feet of millions who walk these streets every day, completely unaware. Istanbul is a city that lives on top of its own ghost. And every time a shovel hits the ground, every time a new foundation is dug, that ghost has a chance to whisper a new secret. The story of Constantinople isn't finished. It's still being written, not in history books, but in the dark, silent earth. And it reminds us that the past is never truly gone. Sometimes, you just have to know where to dig. Thank you for joining this journey into the world beneath Istanbul.
Until next time, keep looking for the stories that lie just beneath the surface.